What's up, guys? Toy Bro here, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Figuarts. I haven't done some Figuarts in a while, and I am behind schedule on these two in particular. Just too much stuff kind of piled up, and these kind of got lost in the backlog. So we're taking a look today at the SH Figuarts, Star Wars, R2-D2, and C-3PO from Bandai Japan. These are not a set of figures. They are sold separately, but there's not tons to talk about, and I figure I can knock two out at once, and they kind of go together, so we need to do them together. As far as packaging goes, they are in the standard normal release Figuarts boxes. So for the general retail release, this is the standard. R2 is a little thicker than 3PO just because, you know, that's how he is. We've got the characters on the front. We got some shots of them on the side. We have got some promo pics of the figures and R2's various doodads, along with some unreadable warnings down here at the bottom. And then we've got the standard kind of side paneling on the other side of the box. So let's pull these guys out and take a closer look. All right, so here are our droids out of their boxes. And I gotta say right off the bat, I love how shiny these things are. Everything kind of has a nice sheen to it. They're not vac metal, and you know we're not gonna get that at any point really. But these are really close. I mean, 3PO shines really brightly. R2 shines, you know, all of the blue is metallic on him. All the silver is metallic. It's great. I'm very, very pleased with their overall aesthetic. I'm pretty well pleased with the entire package in general. There's a few nitpicky things I've got to say about 3PO, but overall, I think they're really nice, and they are definitely, just to start things off, they're the best droids I have. I don't have the Bandai model kit, which is a far more metallic 3PO, and I just don't get into the model kits. It's just one more thing I don't need to have. But for an action figure, this is probably where it's at. So we're going to pull R2 aside, and we're going to take a look at 3PO first. All right, so here's everyone's favorite protocol droid, and like I said, he is very shiny. He has a lot of sheen about him. It's very, very clean, very crisp, and it's very consistent too. So I don't have any real problems with his general aesthetic. Not tons of paint on him, mostly just in the midriff section, obviously with the exposed wires, and they're all individually painted. You can see the varying colors. So each wire has its own color going on. And then he's got the palms are black on the inside with the little gold accents. As far as articulation goes, he is more articulated than he should be overall. 3PO has very limited mobility. He doesn't have elbow joints, and he can't really move his legs to the side or anything like that. So they gave him a little bit more so you can get a little bit more dynamic with him, but for the most part he's still really limited in terms of what he can do, but that's okay. That's the character. So the head is on a double ball, and it can swivel all the way around. It's got plenty of motion any which way you want to go. You can swivel at the shoulder joint itself, so this cap here is the shoulder. The arm swivels within, and then he does have elbow articulation. So he's got these like hydraulic pipes that are on his arm. You don't really ever see him bend his arms too much, but they can move, and you can see this bar inside of here will follow along with the arm as he moves. So it's just something to be aware of when you move. If you move it too fast or too abruptly, this thing can pop out because the little bar is inside a ball socket in the upper bicep, and it'll just pop out. You can put it right back in, and then you have to kind of shimmy it into the cavity in the arm. But it's just something to be aware of. I almost lost one, so keep an eye on it. The hands can rotate, and they pop off a little bit too easy sometimes. They are just a straight peg. They don't really have any other motion, and they really shouldn't either. He can't really do a great deal with his hands. He has an upper diaphragm swivel, and he has a waist swivel as well, so it's kind of a double ball peg system going on in there. He can move his legs out to the side slightly. The leg joints do drop down just a little bit, and then they can go forward, but not a ton, and they go back a little bit as well. But again, that's normal for the character, so it's not a negative. He has a joint at the knee, which goes more than 90. It's not a double joint, but it's good enough for what he does. And then he can... He's got a ball peg down here that he can do full rotation for his ankle and hinge up and down. So he's got, in general, the articulation that you need. You're not going to, he's not going to hold blaster. He's not going to be in a running pose. So you can do exactly what you need with him. As far as the sculpt on this guy goes, I think it's pretty perfect for the most part. I am Overall, very pleased. There goes another hand. So this is really the only thing I don't like is maybe the decision for how they pegged the hands on. That really bothers me, just because they keep popping off. But once they're on, they're on. It's just don't mess with them too much. I think they've got all of his line work down pretty well. Pretty good attention to detail overall. The face obviously looks just like him. The eyes are inside the head, so you can pop the face off because there is a separate face that we'll be looking at. And the eyes are inside there, and they're that kind of lamp look almost. I don't know the best way to say it because they look kind of like light bulbs almost inside of his head. But he's got all the little actuators and little bars all over him. So everything looks pretty nice overall. And then of course we do have the silver leg on his right side from the knee down, which is also very shiny, very metallic. Very happy with that. He does come with some accessories, so we'll talk about those as well. He comes with this is a configuration out of the box, so the kind of open palmed hands and then the normal head. But let's take a look at the other things that he's got in the box. So first thing, he's got 2 extra sets of hands. We have got an open style gripping hand, and then we have another more closed style gripping hand, 2 of each obviously, and the closed hands are for a communicator that he comes with. So as we know, in A New Hope, he uses the communicator specifically when they're in the Death Star, and he includes that here. This is the A New Hope version of Threepio. My only real concern is that this thing is incredibly tiny, and it only fits in the hand that is a more tight grip. But this thing's going to be lost. There's no way that I'm going to even try to display this. It's just going to get lost in the carpet. I'm going to vacuum it up, and then I am going to regret ever taking it out of the box. So as far as this thing goes, it's a cool little thing to have, but it is immediately going back in the box as soon as I finish this review. And the last accessory he comes with is an extra face. So like I mentioned, he does have a removable face because the eyes are inside the head sculpt, and this is the dented head that most people are probably familiar with because that's kind of the Threepio look. So he gets the dent after the Sand People attack in episode 4, and you just pop it on and pop it off. You can pull the face right off. There it is on the inside, so you can see those eyes in there like I mentioned, and it just pegs right back in. So this is probably how I'm going to display them because, like I said, this is Threepio to me, but it's up to you which one you want. They are the same outside of the dent. All right, next up we got R2-D2. So this one is definitely my favorite of the two. I think he really stands out to me. The stark contrast between the white and the metallic blues all over him really does something for me. I like metallic colors anyway, especially on a toy, so I'm partial in that regard. But I also think he's scaled pretty well. He has a lot of little bits and bobs about him, a lot of things that pop on and off. He's got one really cool feature we're going to talk about as well. So we'll do articulation first because there's not really tons to talk about. The legs can swivel all the way around. The head can swivel. And we've got some opening doors and bays, which I'll show. But then you can pop the third leg out and you can kind of, do the thing where he's kind of rolling backwards. He does have rollers on all the feet, so that's good. I'll probably just have him with it up, but it just pops in and out. It's not like the Black Series where you have to rotate the head. It just sticks in there with a spring or something, I guess. Now, as far as the paint goes, I am pretty happy with this. Like I said, I'm very happy with the metallic colors we've got going with these. This is a more clean R2-D2. He's not really dirtied up yet. He's like an eggshell color. Got lots of silvers, lots of blue, lots of metallic blue, and I'm very happy with that overall. And then we've got the red in there for his little communicator deal. So I like him. I think he's really good. I prefer him over the Black Series for sure. Size-wise, he's nice. I think he fits well with Threepio, and that's really cool. I did mention that he has some other things, though. One of which is, we've seen R2 in the movies where the little globes on him, they change color based on what he's doing when he's talking, and this one on the back will actually change. So you can push a button on the top, and it'll change. So it goes green, red, kind of silver, and then gold, which I think is really, really cool. It's another little neat thing. I didn't know about it until I checked the instructions on him. And, the instructions also tell you a few other things about him as well. So we're going to pop open all of his doors and take a look at what he's got on the inside. So as we're used to seeing with R2, he's got a lot of tools at his disposal. He can also, freak out or get electrocuted, and all of his doors open up. So we've got 2 doors that open on the chest, and then we've got the 2 little flanges here that pop open, revealing some more metallic silver paint on the inside. And then the 2 doors will pop out these tools when you open them. So there's that little hinge in there that will force those pieces out. My only real gripe about these is that I have a really, really hard time opening these with just my fingers. I've used a razor blade to get them open most of the time. They're just really, really tight. I mean, they're engineered well and they fit very cleanly. I just have an issue opening them. That could be just me, so don't take that as a negative. It's just something that I've had trouble with. But I think it's great. I'm really, really happy with these. And you can just pop them shut again. And then the doors are a little different. You kind of have to half shut them and then they'll kind of go back in, because like I said, there is that hinge inside there that it wants to have behind that tool to pop them out. But once they're in, if you didn't really know that they should open, you probably wouldn't know that they were going to open. Surprisingly, R2 comes with 2 accessories. Well, one set of accessories, I suppose. So I would imagine most folks know that Kenny Baker was inside of R2 for a large amount of the movie. And for certain scenes, they had to put covers over his feet to not show them. So you can see R2 has nothing down here except the little parts of his feet down here. But there are other scenes where you can see that there are other pieces. So these will pop off and they just pull right off. They're easy to do. And you can pop these on. So these are the covers to make sure his feet weren't shown in the movie. The instructions do note to make sure that you kind of pull these out to the side when you push them back in, because you can see it hits the body and it warns that there could be paint rub, paint loss, if you kind of push it too hard and make it forced over. So kind of pull them and then it'll just slide in there. It's not a perfect fit. There is a little bit of a gap there. I'm probably never going to display him like this. That's just not R2 to me, although I do know why they are there and what they represent. And I think it's really cool that they included them because it's an often overlooked aspect of R2. I absolutely love these droids. They are definitely better in just about every way than the Black Series for me. They are obviously more expensive, so I don't consider them to be direct competitors with each other. But at the same time, you know, you're going to compare the two. I think Threepio is really, really nice. He comes with maybe some unnecessary accessories. I'm not sure I needed 3 sets of hands, and that communicator, like I said, is definitely going to be lost. But it's a cool thing to have, and it's a nice addition to the figure. So if you want to use it, you've got it. I like the dented head, very nice. And then R2 just looks exceptional to me. Tons of detail, tons of little sculpted lines, lots of great metallic paint. And then the little color change button on the back really does it for me too. Of course, the foot cover that he includes is a nice touch. Probably won't need it, but if you like it, you have the option at least, so I can appreciate that. So overall, highly recommended. You got to get them if you want a full Star Wars set. There's no denying it. So that's going to do it for this look at the SH Figuarts R2 and 3PO from Bandai. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.